Can't believe I believed everything we had was last. So young and naive of me to think she was from your past. Silly of me to dream of one day having your kiss. Love is so blind, it feels right when it's wrong. I can't believe I fell for your schemes. I'm smarter than that. I'm naive to believe that with me you're a changed man. Foolish of me to compete when you cheat, when who's winning. It took me some time, but now I'm moved on. Because I realize I got myself and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took about it from now on. I'm gonna be my own best friend. Be myself and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took about it from now on. I'm gonna be my own best friend. Controlling and you say that you love me, but you don't. Your family told me one day I would see it on my own. Next thing I know, I'm dealing with your 3 kids in my own. Love is so blind, it feels right when it's wrong. Now that it's over, stop calling me, come pick up your clothes. Ain't no need to front like you're still with me. All your homies know, even your very best friend tried to warn me on the low. Took me some time, but now I am strong. Because I realize I got myself and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on I'm gonna be my own best friend. Be myself and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on I'm gonna be my own best friend. Got me, myself, I know that I will never disappoint myself. All the ladies, if you feel me, help me sing it out. Yeah, you hurt me, but I learned a lot along the way. After all the rain, you'll see the sun come out again. Hey, I know that I will never disappoint myself. I'm crying. All the ladies, if you feel me, help me sing it out. Hey, you hurt me, but I learned a lot along the way. After all the rain, you'll see the sun come out again. I hate myself, and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on I'm gonna be my own best friend. Be myself, and that's all I got in the end. That's what I found out, and it ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on I'm gonna be my own best.
Doctor? me, but I say they can't fuck with me. Just like the air, I'm everywhere. How you say it so my
Shit, you would think I went to school for chiropractic. Looking good as hell today, just sent my nigga 5 visits. Why'd you come from me about a nigga, man? You bitch back for that. Come at me about niggas who I don't even find attractive. I don't know that nigga, I just seen them on the town before. So I can't be up in her face, I took her nigga down before. When I lose a nigga, I just pop out and go find some more. Soon as I feel like my time get wasted, then it's time to go. They say they don't fuck with me, but I say they can't fuck with me. Just like the air, I'm everywhere. How you say it so with me? Them bitches should've stayed down. They could've been up to me, but all they doing is talking down. Cause they can't get up with me. My ex looking on my old friend. Both they had some fucking plans. Thinking that she got one up on me, she got my hammer down. He thought he wasn't gon' have to stand on shit like he was handicapped. Made that nigga stand on it. Now his ass can't stand me now. High as fuck, I'm lit, yo. I don't smoke no sweet shots. Flying with my gang and them. Looking them like sisters. Them bitches be lame, they go outside about these niggas. I don't wanna hang with them. They don't have no business. They be going for anything, but I can't go for none of it. Why would I go chase you if I know you gon' come running back? Cut everybody off, they been feeling like the lumberjack. They really get me fucked up, and now I'm going for none of that. She the type of nigga make her mad, she going too soon. Me, I'm kinda ratchet still, so I'm the type to be some. I can't love you, baby, like your bitch do, so don't leave her. He gon' choose her every time, cause it's cheaper to keep her. Can't say your name up in my songs, might not fuck with you tomorrow. Can't get my feelings hurt today, I won't give a fuck tomorrow. Ain't fucked up by no credit score, I might be rich as fuck tomorrow. Every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow.
Riding with my twin and them, and we all look good as fuck. She said she my eye, but I don't know her, had to look her up. I know that I'm rich, but I can help it, bitch, I'm good as fuck. I've been on these bitches next so long, sometimes I forget stuff. I can put you in my beds, you might wish me dead tomorrow. Bitches be on thick today, sing every word up tomorrow. Bitch, I still got cases open, keep your mouth shut tomorrow. Play with me today, then get some sleep, you know it's up tomorrow. Fake bitch, that's what my friend fucked on your nigga. Both you bitches pussy, I think y'all should scissor. She bought a chain, I bought the same one, even bigger. She doing shots, that's how I know I got a trigger. I don't speak dog ho, I don't care what no bitch say. I say on her mind, I got condos in that bitch head. She said she don't fuck with me, who say that you can't hold? That nigga munching, he gon' eat me like a mango. Long ass feet, they be tickling my ass crack. Wonder what I do tomorrow that these hoes will be mad at. Oh yeah, bitches sweet, and I always get my lick wet. I fight for my bitches and I'm fighting over dick too.
Can't say your name up in my songs, might not fuck with you tomorrow. Can't get my feelings hurt today, I won't give a feelings hurt today. I won't give a fuck tomorrow. Ain't fucked up by no credit score, I might be rich as fuck tomorrow. Every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow. Can't say your name up in my songs, might not fuck with you tomorrow. Can't get my feelings hurt today, I won't give a fuck tomorrow. Ain't fucked up by no credit.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Who was in the chat? Oh, y'all done left now. Hi. She said, finally you starting mother effort. Hi, Sherelle. Good morning. How you doing? You know, hi, Lena. Hi, Riaz. Hi, Pattern Reader. I don't know if she's still here, SH. How you doing, boo? Oh, Trey the Truth Teller stopped by. Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Sherelle, can you hear the music? I can't hear it. That's probably a good thing. Not press the damn button. Hi, Miss V. She said press the damn button. Start talking. Entertain me. Shut up. I ain't here to. I just came to dance for y'all, and that's it. Okay, like Ebony said. The fuck. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Hi, Tippy. How you doing, bro? How you doing? I had a little bit of time today. It's so hard making time to go. Why are you so angry this morning, Sherelle? Can you tell us? Riddle me this, Batman. Why are you so angry? Why are you so angry? Calm down. Just the problem with the women from New Orleans. They always, you know, just doing a mother effing most. Go get you a coffee, sis. I got my iced coffee right here. Y'all hear that? Okay, I had to get my iced coffee because I knew I had to get some caffeine to deal with y'all. Deal with people like Sherelle, okay? Now, listen, y'all. I'm trying my best to get on here twice a week whenever I can. Got a lot of time. So, yeah, I'm just getting to my point. First of all, to the little bit of people that support me, I just want to say you are appreciated. Please remember to like my video. Share it with some people in your real life who may appreciate the things that I talk about. Thank you very much. hit the notification bell. But yes, anywho, okay, first of all, I want to address the elephant in the mother effing room, okay? There have been a lot of conversations in the space lately about sex with 16-year-olds or attraction to people who are minors who may be legal, right? Because there's the age of consent argument that people are making. And it's very alarming to me because if you ask a 40-year-old man if he wants to hang out with a 16-year-old boy, he's going to say no. Why is he going to say no? He's immature. We have nothing in common. We have nothing to talk about. There's no reason for me as a 40-year-old man to be hanging around a 16-year-old, 17-year-old, 18. I got kids his age. They're going to have every reason on why they're going to disqualify hanging around a 16 or 17 or 18-year-old boy, right? They will understand the disparities very clearly, right? But when it comes to a 16 or 17 or 18-year-old girl, and I'm saying girl because that is not a grown woman. I don't care what anybody says. Is there any woman here who felt like you were a grown woman at 18? Who's grown at 18? You can't even drink, right? You can't even drink alcohol. Then there's science, like there's research done by very, very intelligent people that says you're not really considered a full adult until about, I think, 25. When your prefrontal cortex develops. This is what people who are way smarter than everybody on these damn panels, who have spent years and years of research and studying the human mind and the body, right? Who have told us all that you're not even your cognitive functions aren't even truly of that of an adult until about 25. So we understand that someone who's 18 does not have enough wisdom, enough experience with decision making. They're no competition for an adult like me or any of you in the damn chat for the most part, right? We understand that there are some exceptional advanced teenagers, but you can only be so exceptional and so advanced, and usually that comes to maybe in schoolwork. But this thing called life, a lot of it is just learned through experience, right? It just is what it is. There is no 18-year-old boy that you could put in front of me that I don't feel 100% confident that I could absolutely manipulate. Absolutely, I could. It wouldn't even be hard to do. I would be able to do it so easy, too easy, right? And that's the point. So there's this argument about legality versus morality, right? And people are conveniently choosing to want to adhere to the law all of a sudden when it benefits them, right? Because I was watching a show yesterday and I seen people in the chat being like, well, as long as she's at the age of consent, that's all that matters. So do you have any morals, or does the law tell you how to think, right? Because I don't care that the law tells me I won't get arrested for sleeping with a 16-year-old. I have no desire to sleep. Well, why would I want to do that? Ms. Vontae said, I did not feel grown till damn near 30. I still don't feel grown now. Okay, I am a child, and I know this. That's why I don't have no damn kids. This is part of why, for real. I don't even want to be responsible for a bunch of humans. I'm barely responsible for me. What the hell? So, in a world where I'm really stunned at how many creative arguments I've seen being made as a way to justify being attracted to and or sleeping with minors, right? So everyone wants to rely on age of consent. But again, everyone has the advantage that we all have that the 16-year-old doesn't is we've all been 16, right? Every single person in these conversations, we've all been 14, we've all been 15, 16, 17. We've all been those ages already. And so if you're an honest person, You can be real and say, you know damn well at 16 you were not smart. You were not bright. You were not making well-informed decisions, right? So just because somebody can do something does not mean they should. So when I hear arguments, like, first of all, y'all know I've been going at the patriarchy lately. This is another problem with the goddamn patriarchy. The patriarchy has normalized victim blaming. The patriarchy has literally you guys gotta really think about this and really pay attention when you see anytime there's a sex crime, any kind of issue pertaining to a woman at a disadvantage, it's almost like the men are programmed to be on auto response. The first thing they do 9 times out of 10 is shift the attention to the victim every single time. I watch show after show after show, okay? And the conversation quickly goes to, well, what was she doing there? Why was she dressed like that? Why was she breathing? Why was she existing at this point? Like, it really does not matter what happened to a woman. 9 times out of 10, you're going to see men immediately shift the attention to the victim. Why? Patriarchy. It is normal to protect men at all costs, no matter how wrong they are, because men see themselves in other men. So acknowledging that he's a creep would have to be acknowledging that I'm also a creep, and we can't do that. Oh no, we can't do that. So I'm going to sit here and gaslight everybody and just divert attention away from the predator and focus on the prey. In what world does that make sense? In a patriarchy? In a goddamn patriarchy. Patriarchy is such a problem. It has normalized blaming victims or shaming victims, right? Every time we've seen it, a man is just dead ass wrong, shouldn't be doing something. What do we hear? Well, what was she doing there? Why was she dressed like that? Why wasn't she in the house at 3 p.m. on a sunny Saturday? Why didn't she have on 3/4 of cloth like a Muslim woman? Like, they will say the most outlandish things. And so now we're in a place where I'm hearing people make arguments about somehow let's blame the teenager. And let me be clear. I am not an advocate for like pretending like teenagers don't know right and wrong. But they do not understand the weight of their decisions, okay? That's what they don't understand. That's where the prefrontal cortex actually does matter, right? Because a kid wants to eat sugar all day. And you could say he knew what he was doing. He knew he shouldn't eat sugar. Does he understand diabetes? Does he understand heart failure? Does he understand hypertension? Does he understand one of his limbs could get cut off eventually? No. He knows he wants sugar, but he doesn't understand everything that goes into that decision. So that's the point. When you're saying, oh, they understood. No, they have a very limited understanding. Yes, they know I shouldn't do this. They don't fully grasp why. And that's okay. We don't expect them to because they're children or they're teenagers, right? We understand this. But when we want to make an argument on behalf of why it's okay to indulge in sleeping with them, now it's, oh, they understood what they were doing. Are you stupid? How many things we can honestly say as grown adults we got into, we thought it was the right decision and it wasn't. And it turns out, no, I didn't really understand as well as I thought. So if I can acknowledge this as a whole adult, you mean to tell me we can't give that grace to a 16-year-old? Even if she is throwing it at you, I don't care if she got butt naked. I'm going to keep on saying this till I turn blue in the face. A 16-year-old boy approaching me, and it has happened. Let me put that in. It has happened several times. These little boys, especially in New York, they don't give a damn. I'm telling y'all, they don't care. It has happened. So let's start with that. Him knowing what he's doing, yeah, he's making an advance at an adult. Yes, he understands. He knows what he's doing. Does he understand that I might be walking around with HIV? No, he doesn't. Does he understand that I can manipulate him because I'm way smarter than him? No, he doesn't. Does he understand that I could trap him into giving me a baby? I might just be somebody who always wanted a baby and nobody wanted to give it to me. I'm attracted to 16-year-old. He doesn't understand all of that. But me, being the adult in the situation, I'm supposed to think for me and him, right? So here's what I do. I look at the boy. I understand he's 16. He's going through puberty. His hormones are raging. He's horny as hell. He's waking up with erections every day. Just me being the adult, I understand that about him. So when he makes an advance at me, I'm not flattered. I'm not interested. I just understand his hormones are out of control right now. Let me just dismiss his little ass and keep it moving. And that's really, that's how far it goes. It's like 2 seconds. Boy, if you don't get your little ass away from me, I'll say things like that. Like, so I'm trying to understand. I don't go, oh, he knew what he was doing. Does he really? No, he doesn't. He does not. Right, bro. She said, I don't care how mannish a 16-year-old boy is. He's a boy. He's a boy. I'm a woman and he's a boy. I have no business playing with no damn boy. Now, what can I do? I could come, give this boy a disease or trick him into getting me pregnant. Now he on the line for financially responsible. He didn't think about any of this because, again, he's a boy. I could be putting him in danger because I got a husband. It's so many things I could bring this little boy into. But me as the adult, I should be wanting to protect the youth, not exploit them. Right? So, like, I don't understand all these arguments about she knew what she was doing. I don't care what a minor knows. Know it somewhere else. Don't know it around me. Get your little ass away from me. And the fact that we're getting so creative. What are some of the things I've heard? I've heard, well, when people are selling drugs and they're 16, they get a way bigger consequence, right? I heard that argument. When a young girl decides to have sex with a man, whatever the consequences are, it affects her and her alone. When a young boy is selling drugs, it affects a bunch of people, families, a whole community, right? It's different. I don't understand these false equivalency arguments that people are making. One woman having sex with one man is not to be compared with one boy selling drugs, fucking up an entire community of people. The effects of the actions are significantly different. So that's why they're dealt with significantly differently. She's fucking herself up and her psyche up and her body. He's fucking up a bunch of people just selling them drugs. Right? Or having a gun, right? They compare it to that. Oh, when they want to be shooting or they have guns, they get dealt. Guys, the fact that people jump to these disingenuous arguments should tell you everything you need to know in itself. We don't need to. Why aren't we just comparing like with like? Sex with a minor is wrong, whether it's a male or female. It is wrong. But instead of acknowledging that, we got to go to, well, when Tyrone in the hood and he got a gun and he get a certain charge. Yeah, because that gun has the potential to delete people forever, to truly harm people. When that young woman is having sex with a grown man, she's only harming herself. So again, those two things are not to be compared. Those two things are not to be compared. Good morning, Chiefs DS1. Hi, Eugene. Hi, Mr. DJ Music. Yes, she knew what she was doing as the PDF or Creed. Right. Imagine me saying that about a 16-year-old. I am mentally superior to a 16-year-old. I am. I'm sorry. Even if he's a little math genius. He's not smarter than somebody who just has way more wisdom and experience. He's not. And then I understand his weakness. Like, I'm grown. I know his weakness is sex. It ain't that hard to manipulate his little ass. It's not. He don't even have the discipline like most grown men would have over that because he hasn't gone through it yet, right? So me knowing that, I would be an absolute predator to go anywhere near him. So again, when we ask a grown 30, 40-year-old man, why don't you hang out with 16, 17, 18-year-old boys? Oh, they're immature. Oh, we ain't got nothing in common. Ain't no reason for me to be around these little stupid ass niggas. But somehow the 16 and 17 and 18-year-old girls are just, they're not the same. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. So that leads me, I had some clips I wanted to play y'all. But yeah, I'm so tired of the false equivalency. We're not comparing two people having sex with each other to somebody potentially selling drugs and messing up a community, or someone having guns or shooting people where there's no coming back from that. She got up off the bed and she was able to live her life. He shot someone and they can't never, like, the need to compare the two make no sense. Let's compare like against like. I don't need to be traumatizing no young ass boy, because that's the part nobody's talking about. A lot of times when dealing with older men and you're younger, them girls are leaving with trauma. They're leaving way more sexually advanced than they came. They done got exposed to all type of shit way too damn fast. Even that, right? Think about it. She knew what she was doing. It is not normal for a 16-year-old to be that confident to throw her vagina at a grown-ass man. Okay, I can tell you as a 16-year-old, most 16-year-olds are intimidated by grown men. So let's think about this. Most 16-year-old girls are intimidated by grown men. So if you come across one that's bold enough to be throwing her vagina at you, that don't tell you something. She's been exposed to way too much. The fact that she's even comfortable enough talking to you like that means you're not the first. Like, what are we talking about here? What do you think? She knew what she was doing? The fuck? And then what are you saying about yourself? When men make the argument she knew what she was doing, or she came on to me, or she wanted it, what you're saying is teenagers have power over my decision. You're saying as a 30, 40-year-old, 50, whatever you are, that she wanted it. She knew what she was doing. You see how they take themselves out of the equation completely, as if they have no responsibility in the act? She could know and say and do whatever she wants, but she can't force you to do anything. You decided to indulge. She knew what she was doing. Come on now. What is that? What is that? I don't understand it. So look at this. The patriarchy is a goddamn problem, and I'm going to talk about it all year long. Hi, F&M. Good morning, Virgo. And I don't understand. What is wrong with a 21? Even though I still think you low-key weird if you fuck with a 21-year-old. I'm not going to hold you. But at least she's completely legal. She could drink and shit. What if the word teen is anywhere in the age, and you're 40, 35? What? Like, what are you doing? And why are so many people around here going so hard? Yesterday, I seen somebody write in somebody's chat, well, then they should tell the military to stop accepting 17 and 18-year-olds. What? So we done use the law. We done use selling drugs. We done use having guns. We done use enrolling in the military. We were using every argument in the world to justify why it's okay to like teenage girls. And the same man who wrote that kept writing over and over, well, age of consent is all that matters. Age of consent is all that matters. Age of consent is all. Like, he just kept spamming the chat saying that. And I'm like, this is some sick, twisted shit. But let me say some real shit to y'all. If we look at our history in this country, not that long ago, it was absolutely normal for grown men to marry children, okay? If we look around the world, around the globe, in a lot of countries, it is still very normal for grown men to marry children. So is it safe for me to say that the only thing keeping you niggas from sleeping with kids is the law. Has to be, right? Because in countries where that's not the law, we see what happens. So is it safe to assume that the only thing keeping children safe, and I say that like lightly, but the only thing keeping a lot of you from absolutely exploiting underage people, literally somebody had to make it illegal for you to do it. And this is why too, in that whole passport bro thing, this is the part nobody wanted to talk about. One of the other advantages of going to some of these other countries is because the age of consent is a lot lower. It is. It's a lot lower in some of these countries. And they know that. Everything about these men is predatory. Predatory in every way. Shout out to Sherelle. I was talking to Sherelle this morning, and we was talking about this, and we had a conversation about when the only people who want to hyper focus on youth, like, you know, like, not youth is a great thing, but I mean like youth beyond, like lower than, you know, 18, lower than 21, like people who want to hyper focus on the young and vulnerable, they're predators. I'm gonna give y'all an example. So when you look in the workforce, they want to hire young people because they could pay you nothing, right? They want to pay you absolutely nothing. So they could hire the young, inexperienced person and have you doing a job that's worth way more for way less because you're young and you don't know better. When we get into credit cards, as soon as I turn 18, everybody's approaching me with a credit card. Why? Because I don't know shit. They go after 18-year-olds immediately when they want to, oh, they 18? Let's offer them some credit cards. Oh, you 18? Let's offer you some bad loans because we know your little dumbass don't understand. The only people who want to focus on the super young are predators. You see that shit in every industry. Every industry. In the workforce, you see it. When it comes to finance, credit, predatory lending, you see it. And again, all of this is what? Patriarchy. So when I be talking about the patriarchy, I'm not doing it for no reason. I'm looking at the entire scope. The entire scope. What happens in the workforce? What happens when it comes to loans? Predatory loans. Like who are they focused on? A lot of times the young and ignorant. Why? Because everybody knows the young is ignorant. They're gullible. They're heavily influential. Everybody knows that, and every industry exploits it as much as they can. So the same people who want to say they care about the community on one day want to exploit the young, ignorant, vulnerable on another day, or because they want to get their little perverted ass wee-wees wet. Nobody truly cares about anyone else. Damn, it ain't no 25-year-old that looks good enough for you. There's a lot of them. I seen them. They look real good. That's like, why can't you go there if you want to go younger? Why do you want to go to anything that has teen in it? So we exist in a world where exploiting the young, ignorant, and vulnerable is a common modern day practice. Everyone wants to pretend they don't understand that. Everyone wants to just shame the young girl because she knew what she was doing. And what are you saying about yourself? You're not a smart man. You're not a wise man. You're not a man who has self-control. You're not a man who determines what happens in your own life. You let teenagers come and dictate what you do. Because that's what you sound like when you say things like, she knew what she was doing. That statement alone is completely removing you from the entire scenario. How'd that work? You was in the scenario. And then they want it to be equal, but here's the reality. It's not equal, y'all. It is not equal. When they say like, well, little boys ain't looked at the same way. I think some of that has to do with just our physical anatomy and the way sex is done, right? It's a lot easier for a man to R-word a woman than it is for a woman to R-word a man, simply because of our genitalia. It just is what it is, right? So that's also considered too when people create these laws. Right, Roxy, she says they don't care that they can hurt a young girl or harm her mentally, but then we're gonna say all the women are hoes, right? And they're over sexualized, but you take part in over sexualizing them. So I just what I can't understand, like when people actively participate in a problem, they do everything in their power to help create and contribute to the problem, only to turn around and complain about the problem as if you had nothing to do with it. You had everything to do with it. So why now today you get to like criticize all of the women when you spend the last 10 to 12 years of your adult life running through them and disposing of them like they were nothing? Yes, Rosie, this right here. She said we also need to call out the women that agree with it just because it happened to me and I turned out fine mindset. Correct. Correct. It happens to me and I turned out. But again, I'm blaming patriarchy, Rogue, because listen, what some of these arguments that I've been hearing these women make on these panels and on these shows. Let me tell y'all something. The Nature Boy documentary just came out. I love watching anything about cults. I didn't even watch that because I was there. I watched the whole Nature Boy thing. I don't really need a documentary. But I usually watch anything involving cults because I'm just fascinated with cult leaders and how that whole thing works. And you know what I learned? And myself, I'm included in this statement. And this is why I try to be very careful about guarding my mind. Humans are very influential. You being 30, 35, 40 don't mean shit, okay? The human mind is very influential, okay? The more you listen to something, that's what conditioning is, right? The more something can become normal to you. And I'll give you guys an example of on YouTube, right? How many men have you heard blame women for the fact that they didn't put a condom on, right? Now think about if you were talking to a logical man would tell you, I control myself, my actions, my body, and I'm going to put a condom on because I want to. That's what a logical man would say. Look how normal it is around here for men to make illogical arguments. Why? Conditioning. When you hear too much of anything too long, it can start to become normal. That's literally what conditioning is. Let me tell you, I learned about this shit in psychology class. You ever heard about Pavlov's dog? This one I learned about classic conditioning, I believe. I hope I don't mess this up. But it was something like every time they wanted to feed the dog, they would ring the bell. Feed the dog, ring the bell. Feed the dog, ring the bell. Right? You know what ended up happening? Or they would ring the bell, feed the dog. Ring the bell, feed the dog. It got to the point where they could ring the bell, and even though there was no food, the dog's mouth would still salivate as if it was about to eat. What they did was condition that dog to salivate whenever they heard a bell. Right? You can be conditioned. All of us can. So when you're listening to people sitting up here saying the most outlandish, stupidest things, and then you look up and you go, as a woman, I go, damn. I really, as somebody with 4 brothers, was under the impression that men were the logical ones. I promise y'all, I really believed that my entire life until I got to YouTube. I really thought that. But when I look up and I see irrational argument day after day after day, I'm like, what the did everybody lie to us? Because I thought any man I'm dealing with, that's the person I go to when I can't figure things out. Like, hey, babe, I'm having this problem. Can you help me? And usually they can. They're the more rational one. Or, hey, babe, I'm overwhelmed. I got this too much going on. The man will come and he will, like, prioritize. Okay, well, right now you need to focus on this, F all that other stuff, whatever. That's usually what my experience has been. I'm honest to God. So it's very confusing. The last few years when I've been on the internet and I'm seeing all of these men in mass, because right, the internet can expose you to way more men than your actual life, right? So I have a very small, like most of us do, a very small experience with the few relationships I've been in, and just having a bunch of brothers and my dad, right? I don't really uncles and cousins, right? So you don't know. And then to be fair, honestly, you don't have half of these conversations with a lot of men in your life. So cool. Get on here. I've been hearing the most irrational things I've ever heard in my life, and from people I wouldn't expect to say it. They've been conditioned. Just is what it is. And to an extent, so have I. They make me want to hate men. I'm being honest. Like, listening to the way these men talk about women, about dehumanizing women, right? Disqualifying any possible positive that a woman, especially a black one, could have, right? We want to tell her education ain't shit. We want to make her feel like they're the worst mothers in the world. They're the problem with everything bad in the community. They're too fat. They're too masculine. They're too everything. You never hear anything positive from these men, right? That should start fucking with how I look at men. And I had to be like, okay, hold on. I need to disconnect and focus on what's real in my life, because, oh my God, listening to this every damn day. Correct, Prime. He said we are conditioned by social media more than anything now. But that's proof that propaganda is the most powerful weapon ever. Thank you. Just when will we have the power and use it? This is the argument I've been making, Prime. The men have been using it. It's called stochastic terrorism. I've been saying this. When you get a bunch of black men on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever the hell, Twitter, and they're all collectively pushing out the absolute worst things about black women. Some of them true, some of them not true. But when they're doing that in mass, that is literally a propaganda war, right? And what these people don't understand is that there's a reason propaganda is used as a war tactic, because that's how effective it is. So again, when I'm looking at men who don't seem to have any foresight, right? It shocks me, because I don't come from men. I didn't know they were like this. I really did not know. Thank you, Douglas. He said, Joshua said, when you decide you had enough of the drama, let me know. I'll hook you up with a white boy. I think you should. Fun fact, my brother told me that. My brother gonna tell me, I could really see you with a white man. I said, what? My brother don't know about the FBA and all this online stuff. My brother don't understand I'm a pro-black. But when he said that, I was like, I don't understand how you can look at me and say some shit like that. And he's like, nah, for real. I could see you with a white man. He said it might not be a bad thing for you. Meanwhile, my brother got a whole black wife. But whatever. Anyway, we'll talk about him another time. He really said that shit out of nowhere. He was like, listen, don't limit your options. He don't care. He just wants his little sister married. He like, look, man, don't limit your options. You might be better with a white man. This is my brother saying that shit. I was like, what the fuck? But it's because I come from a family where there's a lot of interracial marriages in my family. A lot of them. It's just, yeah, that's just how they are. I gotta call a family meeting and like really do a PowerPoint presentation on the FBA and why it's important, because my family done lost their mind. They done lost the plot. Okay, they just doing a lot of mixing and matching and shit. There's a lot going on. But yeah, the men and the women. Okay, one of my cousins, she married to an Italian man. I always talk about this. I mean, he cool and everything, but like, sis, why didn't you? And this particular cousin made it her business, that she wanted to marry a white man. Dead serious, and she sure did. But anyway, I don't agree with that, okay? But I'm just telling y'all what I come from in my family is a few people in here who definitely are with the interracial thing. But yeah, that's what I was saying. I just think people need to protect their minds. I think all of us are not understanding people who are in charge of algorithms, marketing, advertising. I can tell you this, guys, you know what? I'm going back to college, y'all. I'm going to finish my degree because it's a personal goal. But you know why? Even talking to you guys, I want to, too, is because I really did learn a lot in college. For the short time I was there, I didn't finish. But I remember taking the economics class or something. It might have been economics. And they talked about how when it comes to like marketing, advertising, business, you know what they use to make those decisions? Human behavior, psychology, right? So they study human behavior to figure out how they're going to market to you, how they're going to advertise to you. What colors do you people respond to, right? That's why you see a lot of reds and blues and yellows in these companies' logos. There's a reason for that. There's a reason when you're online at the store now. If you guys think about 15 years ago, you never seen these. Do you guys notice that at every store now, when you're on the line, like let's say you go to Sephora, everything that's in the aisles, they have miniature ones in all of the baskets right next to you while you're online. You know why? It's called impulse buying. These people study the mind. Okay? So they know most people are going to end up making an impulsive decision while you're standing there surrounded by all of this shit. So that's my point about the algorithm. Social media is just another part of business. And people who are well studied and understand how to do this shit are absolutely playing with our minds. They are. They set up your algorithm a certain way based on what they study in human behavior, right? They're looking at what you viewed before. Oh, let's feed them some more of this. Oh, based on this data, I can see this is probably a black woman, age 28. So let me start marketing her such and such and such, right? That's how those decisions are made. The problem now is, though, we have people, content creators, who are not that smart, who can't even articulate to you what I just did, don't know any of that. And then they're conditioning you, too, because they're just following the leader. Following the leader. Yes, Fear No Mortals, even sounds. Like, this shit gets deep. Even when it comes to music, people, they understand certain sounds, evoke certain emotions, all of that shit. This stuff is well studied and researched. The people who are pushing product to you are way more advanced. I promise you they are. A lot more goes into those decisions than we think. See, that's what education will do. For the people who want to shun education, you might want to go get you some. You wouldn't be so damn dumb. But anyway. So when we're competing mentally, all of us, with just the powers that be, the algorithm, certain agendas being pushed. You know why there's an uptick in like these racist behaviors? Because of their algorithm, what they're being kind of conditioned to see over and over and over. That has an effect on you. Then you get people all radicalized and they go out into the earth thinking they could be Chud the Builder. You got people like dumbass. I seen Myron from the Fresh and Fit wants to try and gaslight black people and tell them, why are you reacting to the N-word? You're proving people right. No one should react to words. And then somebody put a clip of him reacting to all type of words, wanting to get violent. So it's like, this is how people are starting to become so dumb on this internet that they will, again, make irrational arguments. Because they're so committed to the agenda. That's what I realized about a lot of these people. They're so committed to the agenda that it supersedes logic, deductive reasoning skills, the truth. It succeeds. It exceeds, that commitment to the agenda exceeds common sense, exceeds everything, exceeds being a traitor. You know what I'm saying? It exceeds leading your community into harmful ideologies. Like, the agenda exceeds all of that when it comes to some of these concepts. They just don't care. Damn, Riaz said, I trust FBA more than my own Pakistanis. I stand on that. Well, I don't know if you should do that. If you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And this. Can we talk about how much men need women? Why nobody talking about that? When men are trying to act like women are also disposable. But think about this, guys. Why are 98,000% of the shows about women? Why? And I mean all men. Straight men, gay men, trans men. Okay? Men. They all either want a woman for her sex, or the gay ones want her for proximity, inspiration, or the trans one wants your identity. But every man wants to utilize women for his own personal benefit. Okay? And women, and I talked about this last time, there are studies that shown men literally fall into a depression when there are no women around them. They need women energetically, or they won't even function right. That's how much they need women. I'm going to say women. They need women so much that energetically they won't even function properly if they go away from women for too long. So for a group of people who your emotional regulation, your mood, everything about you depends on proximity to women, one would think you would be a bit more respectful, okay? A bit more appreciative. Since the beginning of time, men have always needed women and always used women. A lot of times when you see a successful man, a lot of his inspiration came from a woman. A lot of times. There's a lot of men walking around today who are getting credit for things, innovative things that they did not create. A woman created it. A woman had to teach him something. A woman had to tell him something. A woman had to think of, because it is just true. Men think in a straight line, and women think like kind of in a zigzag. It's just, and I think it's like that for a reason, right? Because we have strengths that each individual, both of them don't have. And so together, we're supposed to be a force, like a mastermind, right? The meeting of the mind, like two great minds coming into one. Now you have a mastermind, right? Now we are the most effective when we're here. But when you got one part of the damn bunch trying their best to devalue, dehumanize, and discredit the woman, you lost your damn mind. So then we go away from you, and now we end up here, right? Where the men are like very upset, distressed, want to spend their whole fucking day trying to humble you, trying to bring you down a size. Why are they doing that? Because if you really don't value a thing, you wouldn't waste any time on it, right? It's not valuable. Who cares if it went away? Who cares if it doesn't want to talk to you? Who cares if it doesn't want to? Who cares, right? That's what I would think. Who cares? Lena, thank you for the cash out, baby girl. I got something for you, Lena. Look at the screen. Thank you, Rogue, for the $1.99. She says, yet want to convince you they should lead. Girl. Okay, the leadership thing. We've been around for a minute, right? If in conversations, we can observe that a lot of you are illogical, overly emotional, do not communicate well, do not articulate well, and can't even handle being wrong about a small, tiny topic. You're not going to die. Nothing's going to happen. But I don't understand how that's a leader or leadership. I don't get it. People make stupid ass arguments about leadership. Like, oh, you don't get to pick the leader. Who told you that? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because when you go to work, you don't get... Yes, I do. I have to agree to take this job. Why do they leave that out? Again, these false equivalency arguments tells me a lot about just how unintelligent some of you are. But you want to lead somebody. You can't lead somebody who looks at you like a mental inferior. Really be superior. That's how you lead. Like when you're really superior and people know it, ain't nothing to talk about. We're going to follow because we know. Right? Like, for example, there are certain men I know, when it comes to certain things, I'm going to just be quiet because he knows way more than me about this shit. And I ain't gonna lie, one of my brothers is like that. Like, one of my brothers, I just know, like, he just knows a lot about a lot of shit. So when it comes to certain conversations, I just be quiet. It just is what it is. Like, I'm not gonna really answer this right now. Let me just shut up, because, you know, I don't know. And then my other brother is a stockbroker. He's all things finance. He knows all that shit. Maybe I should shut the fuck up about that too. Like, so it just, people don't know how to even just assess when you're outwitted right now or outranks, and that's okay. It doesn't make you less than. It's just on these particular things you don't know, and that's okay. But the inability to identify that, how does that make you a leader? Even kings have people they consult with. Kings have people they consult with, like, every fucking day or every week. I don't know when they do it, but I was watching Game of Thrones. I seen it on the Game of Thrones. Okay, they would go in there. That's my favorite show, y'all. They would go in there, and you got the hand of the king. You got all these different people, because the king understands he can't be everywhere at all times. He doesn't see everything. He's not a master at everything. So he's surrounded by masters at everything, though. And he go consult with them about major decisions. Same thing with the president, right? The president is not making every decision by himself. I know people might think that, but he's not. There's a whole bunch of people around him who are in charge of certain things, who are experts on certain things, and he consults with them all the time. So when people want to call themselves leaders, but they don't move like the actual leaders we could look up and look at. The people who are actual leaders for real, we see how they operate. You don't operate like that. You're not a leader. What the hell? Thank you, Roxy, for the $2. Eugene, thank you for the $5. Says, if a grown man allows a teenage girl to entice them, he has no discipline. This is a fact. This is a fact. And that's the real thing nobody want to say. She said a TV show. Yes, Sherelle, a TV show. She said, you do better talking about King James. Okay, I just talked about the President of the United States. Is that okay? There's a reason that they had to write the Congress into it. They had to write the 3 different branches of government, because they understood one person alone can't do it. INC said people can't be convinced to see themselves as less than. Everyone should have a level of self-esteem, no matter what people say. People try to kick people out of their mind. I'm not going. Right, so it's funny, you have intelligent in your name, but this was not an intelligent response, because I don't recall saying that people should have low self-esteem. I don't recall saying that. But somehow you, Mr. INC Intelligent, that's what you perceived from my words. But again, y'all be so smart. Okay. Okay. I'm not advocating for anyone to have low self-esteem. I don't understand how you got that. Sherelle said checks and balances, but all societies not ran like that. Fair enough. Fair enough. I just have a hard time believing that. I believe that, and maybe we should research this, but I believe in places where they have a dictatorship, even those dictators do have some people they consult with. I believe that. They're not stupid. Hold on.
with a bag ass. Nigga off the block who be
Sorry, y'all, but I didn't even play it for the support, and I forgot because Sherelle pissed me off, so my bad. But anyway, but yeah, it's just a quick AI search. But I'm looking at it, Sherelle. It says yes, totalitarian leaders and dictators heavily consult with others, as it is logistically impossible for a single individual to govern an entire nation. Okay. However, the nature of this consultation is profoundly different from that of a democracy. Instead of seeking public consensus or balancing opposing views, authoritarian consultation is designed strictly to maintain power. Okay, so even them, literally everything's your fault. I told you this already. I blame everything on you because everything's your fault. So yes, even the totalitarian leaders consult with others, which is my point. If we look at leaders, we look at kings, we look at presidents, we look at dictators, prime ministers, they consult with others, mother effer. But don't question me, Sherelle. Hi, Ola. Hi, LA Projects. Please like the video, guys. And this is why you get blamed. She said, I knew that. I'm keeping you on your toes. This is why you get blamed, because you just want to piss me off. But anyway, so my PSA for the day was protect your mind. Okay, there's a reason. Let me tell y'all something about the Little Hat community, because I've had to live in proximity to them a lot of my life. Jewish people, they have a saying in Hebrew, but it translates in English to protect the mind. One of them was teaching me about it, because I asked him, why can't you guys listen to the music we listen to? Why can't you guys watch the shows we watch? They don't listen to the music we listen to. They don't watch the TV. They don't watch the movies. They don't watch none of that shit we do, right? So I was talking to this Jewish boy, and when I was in college, actually, and I asked him that question. And he said whatever the statement was in Hebrew, and then he translated it to English, and he said, because we have to protect our minds. And so why aren't we ever protecting our minds? Now, I could get into all of the things that's wrong with them, because they absolutely exploited that shit, especially when it comes to the women. The women don't know shit. And I'm talking about basic, simple things like how you contract STDs. Some of the women don't know. And I'm not kidding. Like, those women are in the dark. Like, the Orthodox practicing Jewish, some of them, they don't know much. I'm not kidding. So, that thing could be manipulated in a positive or negative. But I always remembered that. I was in college. It's probably like 10 years ago. But I always remember when this Jewish boy told me that. Because I was confused about why he couldn't listen to any of our music or watch any of the TV or do anything we did. And he told me that's why. He said we got to protect our mind. Right? And why do you think a whole group of people would be so focused on protecting the mind? Because they understand, and when it comes to all of us, the human mind is heavily influential. It just is true. I don't think I'm exempt. I don't think anybody here is exempt. I think if you expose somebody to something enough, we will mentally in our heads try to make it make sense. That's what I think. And then, hi Tiff, how you doing, boo? And we'll try to make it normal somehow. Maybe that's how we cope with reality, or I don't know exactly. Maybe I gotta research that. But that's why when we see cults and we're like, oh my God, how did that happen? I can't even understand. No, it can happen. People just gotta catch you at the right vulnerable time, understand you well enough to appeal to some of your trauma, and they in there. Okay? This is what pimps know. They write books on this shit. The human mind, some people really figure this shit out. So you gotta be careful. And what I'm saying to you is, it could happen even on a subconscious level, even by accident. Just listening to too much of something all day is going to start to influence your perception and how you think, and even things that you, yes, pimps, okay? You know, this show is a mixture of like intellect and the ghetto, because that's just I really feel like that's what I have both in me. I feel like I'm very smart, but also like, okay, the ghetto is in there. It is what it is, you know? So yeah, that's what you're going to get. My examples are, you're going to hear about the ghetto sometime. I don't know what to tell you, but yes. So, damn, what I was telling you. We just need to be careful, because I already see the results of some of the conditioning that some of these very irrational statements have been having on other people, right? Like I said, the men have been, it's so normal for when you bring up a problematic thing that happens to a woman sexually, it's almost like I said, it's an auto response. The first thing 90% of them are gonna do is say, well, what was she doing? What was she wearing? Why was she over there? Like it just not even no thought anymore. That's just the natural response, right? It's just natural to like completely disregard the harm that may have actually happened and go straight into blaming the person who was the vulnerable one in the scenario. Like, think about that. Is that logical, guys? Is it logical to blame the vulnerable one in a scenario? Is that logical? Do you have some responsibility for where you place yourself? Yes, I'm never saying you don't. But is it logical to blame the vulnerable one? The disadvantaged one? Damn, Ola. He said, you right. This woman told me I had pretty eyes and I was hooked. Turned out her ass was crazy. Damn, you that easy, Ola? Don't be so easy. Okay? Don't be so easy. Kicked me out and I didn't even have time to put my socks on. Listen, don't be so easy, guys. Don't be so easy. You know, it's some men out here who not easy. Why you so easy, Ola? Why y'all so easy? That's what I'm saying. People calling themselves leaders, but it's so easy to put like attractive person in front of you and just like, isn't that a thing? Like, men have also always used in war, they used women because they understood that most men are weak for women, which you should be. You're supposed to be, okay? I'm not mad at it, but I'm just saying, because women are weak for men too. Don't get it twisted. They go both ways. Men try to act like they're not, but they are. And the only ones who aren't, I would say, some questionable things going on over there, because I do see men who are like very much, they want to be super hard on women. They want to really make men and women equal in every scenario, when everybody, society knows, you know, I know, we can't be equal in every scenario because we're not. It's just true. Like, someone wanting to have equal rights, like human rights, doesn't mean that like physiologically we're not equal. Mentally, emotionally, we're not equal on so many different, and it's not always to where a man has the advantage. Sometimes you're not equal and you're not the one with the advantage. We just accept that those realities exist. But when it comes to human basic rights, people just want equality. That is it. Yeah, I'm just going to stay my black ass off the street. Hi, Candy Cane. Hi, Artifacts. How you doing? Please hit the like button for me, guys. So yeah, I don't understand, but I do want to show you something that was weirded out to me.
What?
Because we are on the patriarchy's ass all year long, okay? I am deconstructing the patriarchy in my mind. That's what I'm on all year. Because I see how a lot of the things we were taught to believe and a lot of the ways that we were taught to think are problematic and they're detrimental, and we are aiding in our own demise by subscribing to some of these ideologies, and I can't go for it no more, okay? So I want to, guys, I was telling you earlier about how conditioning works, right? And how on this social media stuff, it got to the point where men are making irrational arguments. I said that earlier, right? You're going to see an example of this with Andrew Tate, because two things happen. Power corrupts people. So, and I've seen this with a lot of content creators, even around here. When people realize that they're powerful and they have a lot of influence over others, they get to a point, if they're not careful, where they will exploit that privilege, right? It's a privilege to have influence over many. That's a privilege, and that's a responsibility that you have to be careful with, right? Because your words literally influence people's actions. So you are responsible now for what you say. And some men, when they reach that, and women, let me say, some people, when they reach that level, they start to kind of take advantage of that privilege and just start saying anything. So let's listen to this.
Having pointless sex, even with girls, is gay. If you have sex with a woman, there should be a possibility that life will be created, because that's what sex is.
Look, no shade. This is probably a gay man, okay? And if not a gay man, a man who plays for both teams. I mean, he could be playing for one team, two teams. He could be playing for every team in the league at this point. Who knows? The through line here is that these two degenerates are incredibly hypocritical. This moron is stating that if you have sex and it does not produce life, then it's gay. So, considering the sourcing, considering the reporting, considering the text messages that we have seen that Andrew Tate sent to his alleged victims, this man is gay as hell. Let's not forget his violence. He got kicked off of Big Brother, according to the New York Times here, because he put his hands on a woman. I also want to make this clear. There's been a lot of really good reporting on the subject, but the reason that this man is roaming free and still doing these worthless podcasts where he is reaching young boys to basically go into the incel community is because of the Trump administration. Barron Trump, big fan of him. Richard Grenell, it seems, on behalf of the Trump administration and much more, allegedly put a lot of pressure on the authorities abroad to allow this man to continue to do what he is doing, which is essentially lead whatever audience he has into the incel community.
I believe this because the manosphere to conservative Republican pipeline is real. We all seen it, right? All of a sudden, every manosphere person is like this super conservative, when meanwhile they're degenerates, a lot of them, like real life degenerates. But all of a sudden, they're these super conservative Republican, like, there are some commonalities. So I absolutely believe that.
He hangs out with Nick Fuentes. He hangs out with other problematic figures. And this really could have all just gone away if the Trump administration did not intervene. But they did. So here we are with a gay man. Watch this.
Having pointless sex, even with girls, is gay.
So that part too, guys. Remember earlier I spoke about how we don't understand just how much thought is going into the product that the powers that be are pushing. Why would the Trump administration back someone who's been arrested for sex trafficking, kidnapping, all type of horrible things, and look at the rhetoric he pushes? Now, why would the Trump administration help him? Why would they do that? Why? And this is the type of rhetoric he pushes out.
Watch this.
Having pointless sex, even with girls, is gay.
Let me tell y'all something I honestly believe about these manosphere men. I think a lot of them are gay, and a lot of them just don't know how to come out and be gay. So they're trying to condition us into changing the definition of what gay is. I've been seeing that shit a lot. Like, sidebar, I gotta find a clip now because this shit pissed me off. There are gay men who are trying to convince us that they're sleeping with straight men. If there's two penises involved, how are you sleeping with straight men? You ever hear them arguments with the gay, like E.J. Johnson? Is that Magic Johnson's son? I only date straight men. I only attract straight men. Everybody is low-key trying to change the definition of gay and straight because they want to sleep with other men and they just can't fucking say that. So they're trying to condition us into changing our definitions of what gay and straight is. And we're never going. We're not going. I made a comment on one of them posts and them gay people attacked me so bad because I said, listen, bisexuality is a thing. If you're flirting with a quote-unquote straight man and he's flirting back, he's not a straight man. He's not. Y'all not going to convince us. They in the comments like, yeah, the ladies need to understand we all sleeping with the same men. And that right there is what it was. You guys want to be on an even playing field with straight quote-unquote women so bad. You're trying to now convince us that a man interested in you is a straight man. He is not. I'm really tired of the MK Ultra, the brainwashing, the low-key changing up the words and shit, trying to, like, this is what I mean by we got to protect our minds. We have to. Now we got Andrew Tate up here saying that it's gay to have sex with a woman. You know why he would say something like that? Because if I could deconstruct or like dismantle what gay is considered, I can slowly condition you to normalize being gay. Because let's be logical. That's how my mind works. Let me teach y'all. When people say things like that, I immediately think, what would be the intention and or benefit in them saying such a thing? So why would a straight man get up and say, even sex with women is gay if there's no baby being born? Think about it, guys. What would be the benefits or the intention of a straight man saying to you, even sex with a woman is gay if there's no baby involved? What would be the intention? What would be the benefit? You're trying to change the definition of what gay is so you can practice your gaydom in peace. That's what I don't see any other reason you would be doing that. That's the only thing that makes sense. That's the only, I mean, am I crazy? I'm asking y'all if y'all could come up with a better, because this is my speculation, right? I'm not psychic, but that's why I will ask those questions. I'll run myself through those questions when I'm thinking about the things people say. Like, okay, what's the benefit or what is the intention? And if you're a straight man who enjoys sex with straight women and you take pride in being a straight man, right? Take pride in being a straight man. No one who takes pride in being a straight man who enjoys sex with women because he's straight would try to tell you that sex with a woman is gay unless there's a baby. That's not coming from the mouth of a straight man. It just wouldn't. So when I see these people from all different angles trying to change the definition of what gay is, change the definition of what a woman is, right? And they going hard and they doing this shit out in the open. This is what I'm telling y'all about. Protect your mind. Because they are absolutely normalizing weird shit. They really like, and the messed up thing is it's working. Everybody's not like me. Everybody doesn't have a bunch of filters they're going to run these words through to see if they make sense. So what happens is somebody who looks up to somebody as big as Andrew Tate, who is impressionable enough, grown ass men, by the way, I've seen, are going to go and then repeat what he said to hundreds and thousands of people. And then somebody in that chat will go and repeat what he said to hundreds of people. And that's how these harmful ass ideologies and propaganda really starts to spread to the masses. Somebody in that chat going to repeat some of this shit in their real life. Because they might have real influence over somebody. It's problematic. Nobody's changing the definition of what straight, gay, we know what it means. We know what it means. But if he could successfully convince us that, well, if it's gay to have sex with a woman, then what's the problem? It's gay to have sex with a woman. Then what's so wrong with being gay? Look at this.
If you dress like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's going to go free.
I have no words. I'm so sick and tired of this narrative that men try to push onto women to give excuses for their actions. This is a pastor saying this.
The patriarchy, guys, listen to the pastor. Listen to the pastor.
If you dress like that and you get raped, and I'm on the jury, he's gonna go free.
I have no words. I'm so sick and tired of this narrative that men try to push onto women to give excuses for their actions. This is a pastor saying this. And we're not even going to talk about how much of this goes on in the church community. It does not matter what you're wearing, and that's no excuse for how a man acts. Y'all wonder why I train 5 days a week to beat men, to literally fight men. Because I've been in these situations, and I put that blame on myself. But I was 7. That it doesn't make no sense. And all the women in the comments are saying the same thing. It's never an excuse. Y'all wonder why I chose a career path that's literally degrading men. Because they have been doing this to us our entire lives. Finding some way to put the blame on us, no matter what, so they are not accountable for their actions. And I refuse to be in that position again.
Okay, so apparently something happened to her when she was 7. And she's tired of the goddamn victim blaming. Hey, Auntie.
I refuse. I will not. So yeah, I train to fight men. Yeah, I beat men up. I choose a career path that is simply degrading to men because I'm so tired of this narrative. So yes, I will choose the bear in every lifetime, and every woman would, because y'all men are psychotic.
If you dress like that and you get raped, and I'm on the jury, he's gonna go free.
That is insane. That is absolutely insane. If you're dressed like that and you get raped and I'm on the jury, he's gonna go free. Like, again, the patriarchy, it's okay to say things like this in public and nobody cares. Oh, here's another one. Because you shouldn't have breathed. You shouldn't think. You shouldn't blink. Why were you dressed like that? Why were you thinking? Why were you breathing? Why were you existing? Why were you? Just why are you? You're here for me to just take your body. What you mean? Consequence for a man? What? No. What?
When push comes to shove, lock up all the women, turn them to baby factories. Whatever those ideas are, that's, men in the past did. We can actually do that, and nobody will stop us.
I'm actually convinced that men like this are actually afraid of women because they're constantly thinking about overpowering women. Let's get all the men together and call them baby factories. What are you getting out of this? Why is this thought in your head? It only makes me think that you are intimidated by women. You gotta be scared.
Facts. I keep saying this. This needs to humble you and drag you down. People who they view as beneath them, they don't feel the need to do that. I don't need to humble a child or drag a child down. They're already down. They want to humble you because they're looking up to you and they're mad about it.
Because for some reason, you think you and other men have to get together and work to overpower them. Why does this even have to be a thought? You feeling emasculated by women? Is that what's happening? Women that you have come across made you feel, I almost feel like you want to cry a little bit. That's all it is. You just need a good cry. You've been hurt before. Someone told you things you probably didn't want to hear. Probably feeling some accountability, and you're like, oh, you don't know, I could overpower you. Instead of calling.
When push comes to shove, lock up all the women, turn them to baby factories. Whatever those ideas are, that's, men in the past did. We can actually do that, and nobody will stop us.
I'm actually.
And nobody will stop us. Well, I don't know. I got about 4 men I could think of in my life who you gonna have a hard fucking time. I'm just saying. Why do you guys think that there's no men that are willing to protect the women that you don't care about? Okay? you don't care about those women, but a lot of women have somebody who does care about them. Okay? There will never be a time where y'all could lock up all the women. Those women are somebody's wife, somebody's girlfriend, somebody's sister, somebody's mother. And the other men are not just going to sit there and fucking let you do that. What the fuck? And this makes me think, when it comes to this conversation, oh, Dr. G, yes, you kind of apply to the example I'm about to make. Oh my God. When it comes to the conversation of devaluing women's education, specifically black women, I really don't like that. I don't know why, but that one really bothers me. It really does. And what I've come to realize is most of the men who devalue women's education are men who do not have education, right? So I think that the idea of you guys creates some like trigger, like it triggers an insecurity, because a man or woman who's black around me, who's educated, I love to see it. It makes me happy. There's not a bone in my body that wants to tell a man who got a degree that his degree ain't shit, because I understand, as somebody who been in school, I'm gonna finish, but as somebody who been in school, I understand like what he actually had to sit there and commit himself to for years. And it's not as easy as it looks, even if what y'all call a so-called basket weaving degree. If they were so easy to get, then why don't you have one? If college degrees are so easy to get, then why don't most of you have one? Because they're not so easy to get. But then for the people who sacrificed and sat there and did everything they needed to attain something that's valuable, you want to work overtime to devalue that thing, but you didn't work hard and stick to anything and do the same. So who are you? D Chicago, do black women realize how insane they sound when they speak about education? They're literally the only group of people who think public school system actually works. Do black women realize how insane they sound when they speak about education? I don't know. The educated black women are doing well in life. Even with the debts, they're doing better than most Americans. These are facts. You can go look up. They're making more than most Americans who are not educated, aren't they? They have a better quality of life, even with their student debts, even with kids. Still doing better. So I don't know. You tell me. I would rather be in Dr. G's position if I was anybody. Yes, they are. Dr. G, are you still here? See that title, Dr. G? See that? That woman gets paid to fly around the country. The fuck? And teach teachers. Like she's a leader of leaders. Like what? Yes, she does. What do you mean? She's making way more and doing way better than the average man who does not have an education. These are facts. She's in a higher tax bracket. Like, what are we even arguing about? Do you think they're doing better than people who went to better schools and grew up in better neighborhoods? This is where you sound stupid. Because why would I be comparing the person who comes from poverty, who had to work for everything she has with no support, to the person who gets to practice nepotism, right? Has access to more from the jump. Is that a fair comparison to you? Come on now. But again, here goes a black man trying to devalue someone's education. Why? Why not celebrate that black woman for doing that shit? Coming from what she comes from. But these are the leaders. What the fuck? I don't recall saying they were the most educated. And it's, again, you guys' insecurities and inferiority to black women just jump right on out of you, because I don't recall saying that. Anybody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I say anything about most educated today? Because I don't recall doing that. If you're saying they're the most educated, you're saying public education. It is working. It is working. If the women are doing better, it's working. Sorry to let you know. Everybody don't come from the best circumstances and may not have access to the best education, but the same could be said for the boys. So if we look at the little girls and the little boys who are both coming from maybe impoverished or low mean circumstances, right? We're going to measure like against like. I said this earlier. You guys love coming with the false equivalencies. And that alone speaks to you having bad intentions. So let's consider like against like. The boys and the girls who are coming from the same impoverished circumstances, sometimes only one parent or on welfare, food stamps, whatever, don't have a lot of support. If the girls are finding a way to get some level of education and increase their income capabilities, I'm sorry to let you know they are doing better. This is just a fact. Sorry. If you want to compare incomes, the men who don't have degrees but they have let's say a trade, that's still considered education. So we're not talking about them, right? But even then, one could argue you have to work 80 hours to get what she gets in 35. You gotta kill yourself to be able to say you can earn what she earns in a regular work day. That's what education did for her. Yes, it makes you better. How when they make less? They don't. So you got to spend your whole life working 80,000 hours to be able to say you make a certain amount of money. And then Dr. G gets to fucking fly around and sit down and do presentations and talk to people and get double your salary. How that work? Education is what did that for her. So y'all really be sounding like haters. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, black women make around 47K. Okay, what do the educated black women make? Can you figure it out? I just seen a show. They broke this whole thing down. I just seen it like a few days ago. Yeah, they said it. Educated women. They were comparing educated women to uneducated men. Again, like against like. We are done with the disingenuous false equivalencies. Damn. Come on, Dr. G. She says, I have no debt, genius. It's called student loan forgiveness. Even if she did, she's a 6-figure earner. Her paying a couple $100s a month on a fucking student loan was well worth it. Shut the fuck. Like, what? Venus, Sherelle said, yes, Shiki broke it down. Oh, yes, I was watching. I seen that. So we know the fact that I'm just sitting here talking about women's education, D Chicago, and you, out of all of the people in the chat, nobody but you, it's always a black man who's so insecure and inferior to a black woman that you gotta try to discredit this woman. Again, a whole doctor who gets paid to go lead men and women, right? She educates educators, right? Get paid to sit on planes, sit down and have conversations with people, and out earning you when you gotta work 80,000 hours a week to try to get what she getting because of her education. Lying doesn't help the community. Yeah, nobody's lying. I seen somebody do a breakdown last week, and when he only focused on the educated black women, turns out that the educated ones out-earned the uneducated men. That was true. It wasn't a lie. I don't know who you're saying. You're literally using doctors like that's the average degree earned. Well, she's the person here that I personally know who's educated, so I used who I knew. That's all that was. And we could take it off women and put it on men. Okay, so even the men who are educated, if you compare the black men who have degrees against the black men that don't, they are doing better. The whole point is the education is better. It puts you at an advantage. And when you come from a group such as this one, black people who are pretty much falling very low on all of the scales, okay, when it comes to income, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to health, when it comes to all things positive, this is the last group that needs to be speaking negatively against education. This is the last group of people who should ever be doing that. This is the group of people who needs that shit more than anybody. So when you see, again, the logical man, I told you earlier, the internet conditioned these people to make the most irrational arguments and think that they're smart. Like they think they're saying something accurate. They think they do. In a country where having an education, let's do the math, because these are the logical leaders, y'all. Okay, so 1 + 1 is 2. So in a country where having an education or a trade, right, still education, puts you at an advantage financially, you got the group of the most disenfranchised people, you got their men advocating against the thing that puts you at an advantage in society. What is logical about them? These are the people who want to lead you, but look where they're going to lead you, away from education. They want to lead you away from education. Think about that. They want to lead you away from education. That's where they want to lead you. They want to lead you away from pursuing things that put you at an advantage in this society. That's where they want to lead you, when they're telling you education and shit. How does that make sense? These people want to lead, though. So then they want you to have their babies, right? But you don't have any education, so you can't teach your kids shit. So while we're saying the public school ain't shit, then he wants to have the kid come home to a mother who don't know shit either. So what is that for his kids? These are leaders, though. I have my bachelor's. I'm working on my master's. I didn't go to a hood school. Okay. What's the hood school? Dr. G, did you go to a hood school? What does this mean? How much money you make, D Chicago? How much money you make and what do you do? Let us know. Nobody's leading you. Y'all damn sure ain't leading me nowhere. But I'm saying a lot of conversations that go on around here in Chicago are about leadership, submission, follow my program, get on my program. When we listen to these people talk, they're trying to turn you away from educating yourself. Who would even, if you have good intentions, why would you even do that to anybody? So now that that's been called out, people trying to change the arguments and act like, no, it was about picking the wrong degrees, as if they really care about you or your student debt. They don't. But we know what the original conversation was when we were here. Nobody cares about your degree. Nobody cares about your education. That don't got nothing to do with me. Can you suck a D? That's all they care about. So we not listening to people who are governed by their lower half. making all of their decisions based on their sexual loins. That group of people is not giving no advice over here. We're not listening to them, because when they're talking to you, that's all they're concerned with. Think about that. They're concerned at what's good for my penis, what's good for my pleasure, and what's good for my benefit. That is how most men are operating in the world, okay? So when he's trying to tell you what should be deemed important for you, understand he's saying that based off of what's important to him. And to him, you're important to have sexual pleasure with, and to do things for me, and to serve me. Anything outside of that, I don't care about it. I'm going to devalue it. Now, you are responsible for yourself, woman. Your own well-being, your own health, your own everything. That's your responsibility. So don't ever let someone who does not care about those things convince you not to care about your own self-preservation. Never. Don't let it happen. Again, protect your mind from everybody. You have to. It's a wicked world. D Chicago said, if you want to believe the inner city schools, again, you call yourself an educated man, but this entire time you're responding to things I did not say. So where is the logic, Mr. Educated Man? Where's your logic? I didn't say anything about any of what you're saying. Ola, how much information and you retain to utilize your career? Who cares? If to get into the damn Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, you need a golden ticket, and that's the only way you get in, then guess what? Go get the golden ticket. Nobody's going to care about what you, oh, well, how many, what did you, get the golden ticket and get in the damn chocolate factory. Okay? How much information retained did you utilize in your career? A lot of it. I didn't even finish college, and I learned a lot of shit that I never would have known, ever. I just wouldn't have known. I wouldn't even thought to go look these things up. Just wouldn't have crossed my mind. Wouldn't have known. So now, as an entrepreneur, right, because that's what I am, a licensed esthetician, just what I explained to you guys earlier about what I learned in economics class, right, about psychology, about how they study human behavior when it comes to marketing, advertising, branding, colors, impulse buying. Learn that in school. That helps me as an entrepreneur today. How about some of y'all actually take y'all ass to a school and you might understand? Go read a fucking book. Jesus Christ. I got you. Yeah, well then you need to look some more. If you the educated man in here who's you want to be elite so damn bad, but you're not as smart as you think. Okay? I'm not anti-education. It's actually quite the opposite. I just can look at the numbers and see what people are saying isn't true. When the whole thing about black women are the most educated came out, I believe they were speaking to the number of black women enrolled in a university at that time. I believe that's where that came from. And when they say the most, I believe they're comparing black women to black men. They're comparing them in their race. Dr. G said he is hanging his hat on hood schools being bad, but some of the best educators work in those schools. However, schooling is a team sport. The entire community is needed, parents included. And that's another damn thing. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I really appreciate you guys listening. I want to speak on behalf of the teachers to some of you raggedy ass parents, because a lot of my clients are teachers, okay? And a lot of the clients tell me that one of the reasons that the kids are underperforming is because they're trying to be in a collaborative effort, a collaboration with the parent. But a lot of time when they try to talk to some of you parents, you guys think that they're the only ones responsible for your kids' education. They said, one of my clients told me that a lot of times when you try to talk to the parents have a bad attitude. The parent is like condoning their kid being bad. Like one of them, she took the cell phone because the kid wouldn't stop using the cell phone, and she said at the end of the day, the parents screamed at her for taking the cell phone instead of checking her child about why are you on your phone in class. So a lot of the reasons you guys as kids are dumb is because you're dumb, and you're not doing your kid any favors by condoning bad behavior. You need to teach your children to follow directions and listen to the teacher. What are y'all getting out of arguing with the educator? What's the point? You damn sure can't educate your kid. So the one thing you should do is be on board with the person who can educate your dumbass kids. Oh my God. Right, Sippy said I have teachers that I have one of my friends. I'm gonna get her on here. I spoke to her about it already. She is a teacher. She's taught in public and charter school in New York, and finished her master's. She's on a trajectory to become a principal, and she was explaining like and how it is here is like you got to get nominated to be a principal. You don't just get to do it. It's like a principal has to whatever the hell, but she's on a trajectory to be a principal. And I told her I want to come to my show because y'all think somebody's playing. I am not playing. How can we have all these dumb kids and highly educated populace of women at the same time? How does that make sense? Easily. I don't think anyone said majority of black women are educated. I don't think that was ever the conversation, D Chicago. And this is why I said I don't understand how a man who, according to you have more education than me. I didn't finish my bachelor's yet, but you on your master's level. So you, D Chicago, you have more education than me. How come I seem to have better logic application than you? No one, again, everything you're arguing with, no one ever said. No one said black women, most of black women are educated. That was never a statement. But again, you're so insecure and so busy trying to compete with black women that you're not listening. You're projecting. Because I did not say that either. So here you go. How can we have all these dumb kids and highly educated populace of women at the same time? Only a small percentage of women are. It's not even like 50% of black women have degrees. They don't. What are you talking? These be the educated men. Like, I can't. You making me feel like even school can't help y'all. What the fuck? Right. Thank you, Tippy. She says only 20 to 30%. Majority of us are not educated. So we're talking about a minority of women who are educated and then blaming them for the majority of children who are not performing well. How does that make sense? Educated man? What the fuck? Jesus Christ, they need a prerequisite in school needs to be a common sense, like logic, like they need to teach those life skills in school. He says, so you need a college degree to teach a kid. You don't. But I'm saying because you said, how do we have all these educated women, but these kids are not performing well? So what we're saying to you is, Tippy just wrote in the chat, I didn't check, but she just said 20 to 30%. It's a minority of black women who are actually educated. So how are we now looking at the mass of these children underperforming and then relating that to the minority of women who are educated? Again, the man pursuing his master's right now. You're so elite. You want to talk about going to hood schools. But when I was a child, that's where I went. How come I have better reasoning skills than most of you? Is it because of the hood school? I wonder. Damn, Sherelle said that the educated women don't have dumb kids. Educated women barely have kids. That's a fact. Birth rates are down. Okay? I don't know of every household, but I'm telling y'all what the teachers tell me. And the women that they're having these issues with, I promise you, are not the educated ones. The women who are yelling at the teachers and taking their kids' side when their kids are doing wrong, those are not the educated women they're having problems with. I guarantee it's not. D Chicago said just having a degree doesn't make you more intelligent than someone else. Obviously, because you have a degree and I don't. And you damn sure don't sound more intelligent than me. You're right. You are 1000% correct. The kids should be able to read. D Chicago, that's the whole point of my argument. I said, my friend told me the teachers want to be in collaboration with the parents, but the problem is the parents do not understand their role in it. So you're leaving all of the learning up to an educator, especially in a school like a major city like this where there's one teacher and maybe a teacher's assistant, maybe, to 30 kids. Nobody has time to show your child all this extra attention every damn day. Nor do they get paid enough to do that, okay? So when your kid comes home with the homework, you're supposed to step in at that point and make sure that they can understand and do the homework. But if the parents aren't doing that, we can't blame everything on the teacher who's responsible for 30 of them. What responsibility do fathers have in regards to their education? I don't know, because one of my brothers, he was like the sole person who did homework with my nieces every day. I seen this growing up. And I think that's because he knew in the situation he was in, he's the more intelligent one. He just was. So, yeah. And they don't offer to skip one of my nieces, all type of shit, winning spelling bees, because of my brother, like dead ass. But, I don't know. My mama ain't raised no dummies, though. So, you know, my brother's far from dumb. Like, I mean, far from dumb. I don't know. I don't know what these men be having going on. But D Chicago proved the point yet again. Why he jumping out the clouds as soon as I try to just uplift women? It wasn't an attack on men. I try to uplift women and tell them, hey, the education is a great thing. It's a useful tool in this society. Whether it is a trade that's useful or a degree, right? This is a good thing that typically at least puts you at more of an advantage than you started most of the time. Even with the student loans. Why nobody saying that? Even with the student loans. Okay, homegirl got to pay a couple $100 a month for some bullshit. Even with that, she is earning a way higher living than she would have ever been able to do before the degree. It is still a positive. And people who have not even put the time or the effort or the work in to pursue said degree are trying to tell you your degree don't matter. That's crazy. D Chicago, just be quiet. You never want to hit the link every time, but you always got something to say. Okay? Yes, I played one clip and he popped up pissed. God damn. Thank you, Sherelle. She said good stream. Freaking D Chicago said, I think black people have gone insane. By the number, it doesn't look good for men or women. I would agree. Okay, D Chicago, so since you and I both know it doesn't look too good for men or women, shouldn't we be encouraging education and trade? Any of the things that may put our people at some level of some type of advantage? Shouldn't we be like, yes, get educated, or yes, get a valuable skill, get a valuable degree? Shouldn't we be doing that? Damn, Sherelle said, happy niggas ain't hating and hating niggas ain't happy. Stupid. Like, shouldn't we? Y'all don't even know. My niece is 17. She about to graduate. I'm trying to get this girl to be a nurse so bad. I done found everything for her. So I try to explain to her, I know you don't understand debt, but listen, New York City has a program where they're going to completely cover it for you if you do this. And I know you want to make 6 figures. Guess what, Niecy? In 3 years, you come out of school as an RN with a bachelor's. You'll be making 6 figures with your first job. I done broke this shit down to my niece. I'm on her ass about nursing school because she's 17. and I want her to be a nurse. I don't give a damn. I'm moving like the immigrants move. You know how they be like, they make their kids go to school for shit? I'm on my niece's ass. I don't care what you want to do. Go to nursing school is what I told her. You'll thank me later. Just listen to your aunt. And as a matter of fact, I need to call her now. Because that was a few weeks ago, but I keep checking in because I'm really trying to damn near brainwash my niece. Yes, I am. Because I want her to have a skill where she can go anywhere in the country and she will be fine. That's what I want for her. Her little ass don't know what she want to do because I asked her and she don't know. So we're not about to go to school for no liberal arts and waste time. I want you to go to school for nursing, Niecy. That's what I want you to do. And I believe I have enough influence over her that she's going to listen to me. Okay? Because when you say the word $100,000 to a teenager, they get excited. So I'm like, listen, okay, all that other shit you might be interested in is cool, but this is what we know is a guarantee. We know what the starting salary in New York is for registered nurses with a bachelor's. They come out of school getting offered like 98 to like 115. Okay? Take your little ass to school and be a nurse. I'm on my niece's ass. I'm not playing. That's what the people need to be doing to these kids. I'm sorry. We ain't got, because guess what? I wish somebody would have did it to me. Okay? I had to waste a lot of time, pursue a lot of bullshit, and that's why I want to go back to school my damn self. Just being transparent. I wish somebody did that to me, but nobody did that to me. So I'm learning from the damn tethers. This one thing I can say they're good at. When they come over here, them kids ain't got no damn choice. Listen, you taking your ass over there to be a doctor, nurse, whatever the hell, and they go do it. So if my niece don't enroll in a nursing program, I might beat her little ass. I'm just saying, allegedly. Don't lock me up. But no, I'm not playing with her at all. At all. I already told my brother about my plan because it's his daughter. My brother approves my message, okay? And I told my brother, like, listen, her little ass to go to nursing school. I explained everything to him, how it will be 100% free if she go through this program in New York. And she will have no debts if she just does it this way. And my brother was like, okay, no problem. And I've been harassing my niece about this shit. I want her to go to nursing school immediately. If you want to change your career later, I don't care. But I want you to have one that you could always tap into and you could always be fine no matter what state you in. Okay? That's what I want. So all of this, y'all don't care about like what the kids doing and when I'll grow up. All that shit is bullshit. Somebody sold y'all a lie. That's why most people struggling now, because where I do agree with the men, this is where I agree with the men about the education. There was not a lot of intent on what type of degree to pursue because we didn't know. And that's okay. We didn't know. But now us, the millennials who know, we have to be teaching the younger ones because nobody told us. So yeah, I'm not playing around. I'm about to damn near, I don't know, extort and torture my niece until I see that her little ass enrolled in the nursing program. I'm not playing. I'm really not playing with her. But that's what y'all need to be doing. If y'all really care about the younger generation. I want my nieces to be okay. I don't want them to be struggling for money or figuring shit out in a big old age. No, you're 17. We need to right now get you straight applying to school and focus on some shit that's going to pay you well. That's it. I'm learning from my little Caribbean friends out here, okay? When I tell y'all all I know is nurses and teachers, why y'all think that is? Most of my friends are Caribbean women, okay? And why are most of them nurses and teachers? Because their parents had a fucking plan and told their little asses, look, this is what you're going to do. And they did it. That's it. Y'all need to be more, like, strategic. So, back to my last point, and I got to go. The parents who are condoning your kids' bad behavior, you're not thinking about your kids' future when you're arguing with their teachers. When you're defending them having cell phones and shit in class. If the teachers don't want them to have a cell phone, they will be okay. If something's wrong with your kid, the school will call. Your kid don't need no damn cell phone in class. They got ADD as it is now. That's why. So when y'all coming up there having attitudes with the people who's supposed to educate your kids, are you thinking about the future? Like right now, most Americans are struggling financially, right? Don't you want to put your child in a position where they're going to be able to compete financially and survive? Don't y'all want that? Well, don't say congratulations yet, Fiona Moto. She ain't do nothing yet. I'm just telling you, if you don't hear from me, it's because I went to jail because I beat her little ass. Okay, I'm just saying. But we got a year to figure it out. We're going to see. But with that being said, no, in all honesty, I'm just playing. I don't hit children. That was allegedly. I'm just joking. But anyway, I appreciate you guys listening. I'm going to catch y'all later. Have a good day. Bye.